Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you guys become better traders. How's everybody doing on this fantastic morning? It's awesome to see Bitcoin blasting off to that monthly support test. I mean, that was ultimately my target for 2023, so it's been hit. I'm glad. If you didn't see last night's drunken live stream, I did take a third of my profits that I made from 2022 and in 2023 and cashed out. Just one third, one third. So I'm still holding some, but this is an area that basically once retested is good to go, right? Like price usually will come back and retest an area. Now, with that being said, I don't know if Bitcoin's going to stop here, right? It's just at a $35,000 cost basis from where I was sitting was just, it's time to take some money off the table. The position size has gotten so big, $1,000 fluctuations in price was starting to really affect my mental status, if you will. So I went ahead and closed some of them profits, get the position size down a little bit so that way I can sleep easily and not have to worry so much about $1,000 price fluctuations. Because, I mean, literally, we were looking at, $27,000. That's almost a $10,000 move right there. From 27 up to 35, that's pretty nice. Now, this morning, the dollar is starting to catch a bid, so we'll keep our eyes on that. But Bitcoin really, the fact that it is still up there this morning really makes me think that maybe this thing has got some more room to go. I actually thought I was going to wake up and see Bitcoin trading back down to 31 or 32, somewhere in this region, but it's not. I mean, it's still up there, so people are probably loading the boat. Here. Well, let me see if I can go back one page. There we go. All right, so the planned funds ticker, that would be BlackRock. The fund would be BlackRock, is IBTC. According to the listing, Bloomberg Intelligence senior analyst Eric Balchunas said Monday that IBTC is the first proposed spot ETF listed on DTCC, a financial market infrastructure giant that processes trillions of dollars in securities transactions daily. All right, so you can't trade this thing yet, right? It's planned. It hasn't been like officialized. If you look up IBTC or whatever on any charting software, you're gonna get some crap, right? It's not really it. So I mean, it's a step in the right direction, right? It's a step in the right direction. This is USD Trust bond. I don't even know. I mean, some kind of bond ETF, I guess. 1 to 3. I don't know if it's year or month, but anyways, you get what I'm trying to say, right? So it's still in the works. It's not official. That would definitely cause demand in the asset, of course, but not so much from BlackRock buying. All right, that's the point I was trying to make in last night's live stream. Not the fact that this won't pull people back into Bitcoin, because it absolutely will. The problem is BlackRock has already been buying Bitcoin. They have been buying it since they knew they were going to list an ETF or even go to the SEC with the purpose of listing an ETF. BlackRock has probably been accumulating Bitcoin for the last 4 years. They would have to have a sufficient amount of Bitcoin to cover the funds for the ETF. So it's not like BlackRock is going to wait until they get SEC approval to make an ETF before they go out there and buy a bunch of Bitcoin. That's not how it's going to work. Okay, they've already accumulated a monstrosity amount of Bitcoin. So this buying right here would just be hype from that initial step of BlackRock, almost pretty much getting an ETF. So we'll see how it goes in the future. But that still doesn't affect the way that I look at price or the way that I trade. All right. So when I first got involved in Bitcoin, it was for one reason, right? Lambo bros, right? Everybody wanted a Lambo. Everybody wanted to get rich quick. And Bitcoin, with the volatility, if you hit it at the right spots, the right places with a lot of leverage, you can make a lot of money, right? Really quickly. The whole purpose of Bitcoin was to make money. But then it became something else, right? For some people, it's a store of value. But those people are never going to sell their Bitcoin, even if Bitcoin was to become worthless. You see what I'm saying? My purpose as a trader is to make money from it, not to, sure, I'll hold a small portion of Bitcoin probably forever, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm not going to put my life savings in it because I think the United States of America is going to go down and there will be no more currencies in the world. It'll all just be Bitcoin utopia land. I don't believe that, right? Governments will go to war before they will allow Bitcoin to be their main currency. They wouldn't have no power over you if Bitcoin was the main currency. Well, all the other countries may adopt Bitcoin in order to help their inflationary troubles, but I don't see the U.S. doing it, not in my lifetime, anyways. So, I mean, essentially, Bitcoin is an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity. So, an opportunity is something you take in order to try to make a little bit of money with it. So that's why I took profits. I'm still holding Bitcoin. I'm still an overall long Bitcoin bull. I will always be a Bitcoin bull. I mean, I'm not, even if I'm short Bitcoin, that still means that doesn't mean that I think Bitcoin's going to zero. No, I think Bitcoin's here to stay. I do believe it'll be trading for much more money in the future. However, once your hodl bags get to the point to where, $1,000 fluctuations in price are affecting your mental status, then you definitely need to take some profits. All right. If $1,000 doesn't do anything really to your portfolio, you're fine. Right. You're fine. You don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I built up a rather large bag in the last 2 years, basically because we nailed every major swing, every single one of them. And it was fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, my profit target for 2023 has been hit. You have filled the gap. If you did not see last night's drunken debacle, where did I put it? I moved it over here. There we go. So there is your gap, right? Yesterday's video, I rewatched it, and for some reason it looks all weird, but I don't know if that has something to do with, because on my screen everything looks fine, but hopefully everything looks okay to you guys as well. So there's the gap, right? From that low, 35.23 down to whatever this candle's opening price is. And that would be 34. Wait, I can't see it. 34,455. So, I mean, gap is filled. It's done. It's happened. So next gap is to the downside. So I actually thought we were going to fill that gap first initially, but nope, looks like we're going up. We're going to the moon, Sally. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how far it's going to go, where it's going to stop, none of that. If I knew the answer to that question, I would not be on a YouTube live stream right now. I would be on a $5 billion yacht with a helicopter on the top of it, cruising the Mediterranean. Right? That's what I would be doing if I knew what Bitcoin was going to do. If I knew what it was going to do. All right? So, with that being said, making money in trading is simple. It's all about risk management. It's about making sure that when you're wrong, your losers are small, not big. You want your winners to be bigger than your losers. That's what trading is about. Not about picking the right direction. I mean, it helps when you pick the right direction, but as long as you got a 50-50 shot and you have a 50-50 hit rate, you will be a profitable trader. Your goal should not be to get rich in trading. Your goal should be to beat the S&P 500 on a year-to-year basis, Because if you can do that, then guess what? You are in the top 10% of profitable traders, because 90% of people can't do that. They cannot beat the S&P 500 on a year-to-year basis. That's what makes them a losing trader. All right? That's what makes them losing. So, yeah, anyways, beating that should be your goal as a trader. Go into the week by week up 1 or 2%. If you can do that consistently, you're not going to do it every week. Obviously, you're going to have down weeks, but as long as your down weeks don't consist of a 9% loss that week, right? You want to keep your losses small. The way that I do it essentially is if I'm down on, like, say 3%, I'm done for the week. I don't trade anymore, because obviously I don't have the market's direction right. So if I don't have the right direction, then I have to bounce. Like this morning, I'm probably going to get bounced out of these two trades. Let's see here. Maybe when it dies down. Yeah, this one right here should have got closed. Not sure what's going on there. But I had it set at $50. It should be closed. Maybe it's just not got filled yet. I don't know. But I don't like to take those huge losses. That's how you build a portfolio. That's how you make money over time. Is you get some right trades and you get some wrong ones, right? All right, so moving on. Here we got the expected move on the ES futures contract. Low is 42.24. The expected move for today on the ES contract is 42.77 spot 50. Basically, we'll watch this level to see if the market rolls over. As like I said, the dollar was starting to catch a little bit of a bid this morning. Let me go back to this and this. Yeah, you're up 0.4%. So that's quite a nice recovery on the dollar. Let me keep this screen over here open, as I do have a short trade on. I took a short trade on the last hourly candle. I assumed it was going to hold as resistance. Let me show you real quick. Not on weeks. I was unable to get filled on weeks. But as this candle pushed up, I was waiting. As it started to fall, I went ahead and got short in anticipation that we would probably see it close back under support. But it didn't. It closed above. So since it closed above this resistance here, there is a chance that this down move gets bought up and price closes higher. And we continue to see higher hourly closes. But we could get a big screw you death candle as well. Like there's nothing that's going to say otherwise. I do know that there probably is a lot of people out there that are just like me, right? That want to take some profits that they've been sitting on for a while, especially with all the turmoil that's out there right now in the world. I mean, if you just think about the inflation, the high interest rates, the wars, the two wars that are going on, like there is a lot of turmoil out there. So I'm surprised we're not seeing more volatility. I'm surprised the VIX ain't up to like $28 at this point. But it's not. Today it's setting at 1972. So the VIX has had a nice pullback yesterday, but it's still up. The VIX is still elevated. And whenever the VIX is elevated, that makes option premium a little bit more expensive. So keep that in mind. Down here would have been the area to buy calls. Don't start buying VIX calls up here. You're going to pay too much for the premium on them. And with here, let's go see real quick. Let's go see. Let's go see what they're trading for. Let's just go out. Well, there isn't 30 days, but we'll go out 28 days and see. Well, they've gotten a lot better. They've gotten a lot. The spreads have gotten a lot better than they were. They were really bad, but And when I say spread, I mean the difference between this price and this price. That is your spread. You can see that there's a 10-cent wide spread currently on this option. But they were worse, and the premiums were also bad. It was like $4 on the call side and like 80 cents on the put side. That was when the skew is all jacked up. But whenever the VIX goes up, the skew drops. Skew goes up, VIX down. Skew up, VIX down. It's just the way I, say it. So, yeah, I'm going to close this one down here because Netflix is obviously moving against me. We'll go look at the Magnificent Seven. We got a lot of earnings coming out on these things, too. Apple's got earnings next week. Yeah, next week. Amazon's got earnings tomorrow. Goog has earnings after the bell tonight. Meta has earnings tomorrow. Microsoft has earnings after the bell tonight. So a lot of earnings from big stuff happening here. The reason I took the short on Nvidia was basically this. That yellow line is the midpoint of last week's candle. All right. It just used the body though for some reason. I'm going to try out Tom's little theory here and not use the entire range, because if I use the entire range, it moves that yellow line up. But if I use the body, you can see Nvidia tested that to perfection. So as long as Nvidia is trading under this yellow line right here, then that put spread will pay me. Now, the reason I took the put spread on Netflix was simple. I was expecting a stop run, right? Because of this massive gap up. And then for 3 days, you've been trading from literally, you open that day at 350, you open this day at 404. That's a $54 move to the upside. So I'm expecting, if tech is going to get hit, then Netflix is probably going to be the one that gets hit harder. But Netflix has fallen much more than the other ones have. So I'll sit in it for a little bit, but if it continues to push up, I am going to close the position. We'll see if this was just a stop run, and we'll see if that position pulls back into the 390s or back under $400. As long as it's under $400, that trade will be in profit, not loss. So we'll give it a few minutes to decide what it wants to do. Bitcoin is still just trading that negative hourly candle, and it's trading back near the lows. Apple's down on the day, but you did gap up. Well, no, you didn't. You did not gap up. Sorry. You opened right where you closed yesterday. Amazon gapped up, coming down, gap filled, essentially. Google gapping up, trading as a doji right now. There is news that is coming out in 21 minutes, being the global services PMI. And yes, this can definitely move markets. And this right here can move markets as well. The 2-year note auction. Now, the last couple auctions that we've seen haven't messed with price. There was one that we got not too long ago that made the S&P drop some 50 points. All right. So we're going to keep our eyes on that note auction. And it did affect price. The last note auction we had, the 20-year note auction we had, it did affect price. If you go back to that day and look at the 1 o'clock candle, it is much more volatile than the candles prior. So Netflix just got filled, so that position is out. Sorry if that was very loud. I cannot control the volume. That is so stupid, though. Why would you fill me on a down move? You would want me to, I wanted that to be filled on the up tick. You bastards. No, I'm just kidding. Tastytrade is a very good broker. It's just hard to get fills. This thing trades crazy. Doesn't have as much volume as you would think. Like, it's not got as much volume as a Tesla or an Nvidia does. I can remember when Netflix was the thing to trade, though. Here we can look at exactly how much volume Netflix has got going on today. Let's just pull you over here, and you can see a lot of call buying taking place. 7,000. Not many puts being bought. There's quite a few calls being sold as well, but we don't know if these are positions being put on or positions being taken off. But we do know that it's selling because it's traded at the bid or below. You can only be a seller on the bid. You can only be a buyer on the ask. The only time I have ever seen anybody be a buyer on the bid or be able to sell on the ask is in penny stocks, where there is such thin liquidity and you got people coming in late to the asset. You could get filled on the ask in that situation. But usually, or in options at least, with market makers, you're going to be a seller on the bid and a buyer on the ask. You can see there that it's not heavy volume being traded this morning in Netflix. But if you go into something else like NVDA, for instance, try that again, NVDA, you'll see that there is quite more volume trading here. Total 75,000 options contracts have already changed hands. Now, this is something that I do want to see. There is more call selling than call buying going on. And if you look over here at the put buying, it's pretty close to the call buying. Not as much. And there can be degrees of separation here, but it is looking decent for the short trade for today. But this is a trade that I'll hold for many, many days. Let's go look at the market watch. Why does it do that? You know I don't look at the heat map. I want the index. Oh, wow. 89 advancing stocks versus 12 declining stocks. That's in the S&P 500. So typically we would not be looking to short the market today. This is overwhelmingly bullish. Overwhelmingly bullish. When you get to the point to where you're at in the S&P 500, where you're at like 90 and 10, either way, whether you got 90 declining stocks and 10 advancing, or 90 advancing and 10 declining, that's pretty much full-on correlation, and you expect the S&P to go that direction. So there are so many stocks that's up today. And let's go take a look at oil and see what it's doing. Because if oil is moving to the upside as well, or energy, I should say. Let's go look at the energy sector as a whole. No, it's down. When are you going to find support, bro? Excuse me. I don't know. That's the yearly opening range right there at 86.92. If the XLE comes back into that area and holds support, I might be a buyer on it. But this does look like it's losing its momentum for sure. Here's oil. Yeah, I mean, it's breaking through what I would expect to be support. If it breaks through here, then the next support is going to be 2-week demand, which we already closed under 2-week demand. So that level's already broken. Then we traded up almost a 2-week res and then rolled over. Huh. Yeah, it looks like, let's see what happens. There's the weekly low. Let's see what happens after that. We might have a buying opportunity right here, right quick. Let me come over here. Just excuse me for one moment. See, we're getting ready to hit the top edge of the expected move. Since the market is so correlated to the bullish side, I would not try to short it there. I wouldn't. XLE could bring the market down, but not by itself. You would have to have correlation, some degrees of correlation. But let's pull up this /MCL. This is the micro crude oil contract. So we're going to try to buy one here because we know we're at support, or we know we took out last week's low. But MCL is going to be different on this. Yeah, you've already more than taken out last week's low in the crude oil futures. All right, so maybe we won't be buying that. Maybe we won't be taking along there. We'll keep it on watch. If the if the stream just dies for no reason at all, it's because my computer took a dump. All right. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, my few ledges. Good afternoon to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Mr. Brandon. How was the air show, brother? I love air shows myself. We will try to. I do have weeks pulled up here, and I do have money loaded up. I had 30 grand in there, but just playing around with the account, it's down a little bit, but we'll see if we can't get filled on a position here. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I am looking for a short, obviously. And that's just based on other people are probably going to take profits on Bitcoin. I mean, it's natural to take profits. We're halfway back to the moonshot of 69K, right? You're halfway there. You get back to the halfway point or the moonshot, usually people will take profits. Let's see what kind of reaction we get here on crude oil futures this morning. Each cent is a tick for you that are unaware of futures trading. It's a little bit different than trading stocks or options. You have what's called ticks, and that's basically like, I think the way that this moves is it's like $1 per tick, so $1 per cent. That's what you will make or lose on one micro. I know that doesn't sound like much, but have you ever seen dollar candles in oil? I have. That'd be a 99 ticks. That would be bad. And I'm not sure that's what it is either. Not 100% certain. But anyway, let's go back and look at Bitcoin while this thing continues to roll over. Ethereum's even doing nice. I thought Ethereum was done. It looked like it was going down, didn't it? Well, that's what we call a trap, ladies and gentlemen. That is a weekly bear trap on Ethereum. But Ethereum's struggling at weekly resistance. I mean, it's not struggling, obviously. It's up 3% on the day. That's not struggling at all. And then on the hourly, this is what Bitcoin looks like. So now that we got our lines marked up, we can go down even lower and watch the 5-minute. What a 5-minute candle right there. Yeah, it looks like people are accumulating it. I mean, it's as simple as that. It looks like it's being accumulated. We looked at this last night, and it was the same as last night. Only now you can see the sellers stepping up. See the yellow bars are sellers. And if we make this bigger where we can actually see the numbers. So you can see that there was pretty much about the same amount of buying and selling going on. A little bit more selling going on in this candle than buying, and more selling in this area than buying. And those are the price points. That's why this is the way I like to look at volume profile, because it literally shows me what's being done at which prices. And price is king. So it does look like you got a lot of sellers coming in here at hourly res. We'll see if the buyers can keep it up here in this area. Or do the sellers win out? Now, I mean, with that kind of a candle right there, you can't be. You got to make sure you guys got to stop if you are selling hourly res. I don't care where you put it, just make sure you're not losing more than 1%. I would probably put it up there. This is your high of day, though. That's your high of day. So can Bitcoin make another high of day? Absolutely it can. But we will see what happens, with time. This would be a day trade. On one account, I did put on a hedge. That hedge is still working, but it's not a trade. It's just a hedge. I take bigger position sizes when I take trades because I'm looking to take profits. So if we get a retest of that hourly res, I will throw on a entry here. Let's see. We can get filled 34,566. And we'll do half the position size. And we'll set that there. 425. Why is it only doing that? No, that is not. No, that is not right. 849. That's probably not the position size. I don't know. We'll see. So as you can see, the hourly candle is dropping a little bit here. You do have hourly support coming in at roughly on weeks 33,901. We got hourly support coming up on Coinbase at 33,873. That's what I'm talking about as hourly support. Let's get rid of the volume profile. Yeah, any pullback is likely to get bought up. I mean, when Bitcoin is in a frenzy like this, it tends to go and keep going. And it doesn't have to go far to make money. It looks like a very small candle, but it's actually a pretty big move, right? Let's see. Right here is your opening, and you're up 3.5%. That doesn't look like a very big move, does it? But it is. It's bigger than you think. That's why this drop right here is, if you've already taken the trade, you could potentially take profits down there. I mean, it wouldn't quite be a 2-to-1 risk to reward if you put your risk above those swing highs, these two swing highs here. It'd be a 1-to-1, but since it is so volatile and we don't know what's going to happen, go ahead and shore up that profit potential by taking them. Take them profits, move your stop to break even. And if you get a shoot back up there, then you'll get stopped out, but at least you got paid for taking the risk. And that's what the whole point of trading is all about. Getting paid for taking risks. So we got one more down move on that. What's the SPOOs doing? Nice move on the open to the upside, but then immediately sold back off. As you can see down here, bottom left of my screen, that is going to be daily support. You can see that we have closed 2 bearish candles under this level. So if today fails to close a bullish candle above that, then it's going to look like an old support turned into resistance. So technically, I guess one could take a short, but this is my problem with shorting the market right now, is you've got such confluence. I mean, it's still 77 to 24. And you would need your bigger players like Apple and your Microsofts and your Teslas and all that stuff to go down. It is funny that tech isn't up that big, is it? They're probably just waiting on earnings today. Like I said, you got a couple Microsoft, that's a biggie. That is a biggie. And Amazon, that is a biggie as well. Nvidia is just barely up on the day. That's a nice looking candle. Nice looking candle right there. I definitely want to keep it under 432.50, and I'll keep that position on. Netflix is still soaring, so this is not just a stop run, which I have seen stop runs last for a couple hours before and then rolling over. So I can't really say that it's not a stop run just yet. That would be a little immature, premature, and slightly immature. Oh, man. What's happening, everybody? Good afternoon, Heath and team. Good afternoon, Michelle. Sub troops. What's up? Good morning. VOD long, Uber long. Probably not. I tried to get in this position yesterday and I did not get filled. I kept it open all day long. There's no liquidity in this product on the options side. If you want to get long via shares, then yeah, I mean, obviously, if you got long yesterday, take profits today because you gapped up and you're up on the day. Yesterday, it closed down on the day. But there are supports here. So, I mean, yeah, if you can jump in with a few thousand shares, make 10 cents, that's $100. Well, 1,000 shares would be $100. But it's just illiquid on the options side. There is no volume in it at all. No open interest. And I've looked at all the strikes. Right? This is right here. I mean, there's open interest in it right there. But I literally held the position all day long waiting for a fill, and I didn't get it. And I was just going to outright buy the call at the $9 strike. Simply because it meets my risk parameters. I can just hold the whole position to expiration, as I would only lose 57 cents. That's if I get filled on the ask. I always try to get filled in the midpoint. Midpoint, so around 54. But I mean, it's on stuff like that, you kind of want to get long at the open, right? You don't want to wait until it shoots up and then get long. This thing has very little liquidity in it, even on the share side. Doesn't mean it won't move to the upside. I'm just saying, it doesn't have any liquidity in it. And I don't like trading illiquid products because if you can't get in, imagine how hard it is to get out. That's the whole reason for my concern of trading this. If I'm sitting on the midpoint all day yesterday waiting to get filled, look at this. I mean, this thing literally ticked back and forth on my entry forever and I never got filled. So I just shut the position down. Because if it's that hard to get in, it's going to be even harder to get out of the trade. And I don't want to get myself into a trade that I cannot get out of. And then Uber, I already told you yesterday, my stance isn't going to be any different from yesterday. Right? Yesterday you had the move. I mean, get long now? I wouldn't. You're chasing price. Get long at the open? Maybe. It's gapping up. You know what I mean? When the market opens, wait for a move lower and then jump in. It's hard to gauge your risk that way, but, or here was a pullback. You could have bought in here, anywhere in this 5-minute candle. But you don't want to chase price. You don't want to buy daily highs. You are at the high of day. Sure, it can continue to make high after high after high. I mean, that's what momentum trading is all about, right? What's the guy's name? Ross from Cameron or something from Warrior Trading. Ain't that what he does? Getting long 3,000 shares, Uber. First 5-minute candle make a new high. And then it dumps and then you lose like $2,000. Yay! No, that's not how I trade. I buy pullbacks. Is this a pullback? Maybe. But see, look what would have happened if you would have bought for the first fresh 5-minute candle to make a new high. You were instantly down. It's not a great strategy. But he wouldn't do it on this anyway. This is a completely different stock. This is a a big market cap trading in the 40s. It's not something he trades. He's looking for those momentum pushes on penny stocks with light volume, light liquidity, heavy volume, but usually light volume, low float stocks. But I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't buy a call if you think it's going to go higher. It's obviously trading as support and your range bound. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't see why it'd be wrong. I would rather buy it at 42.11 or 42.91 though. That's just me. Not up there, down here at support. And that's the way I like to take positions. As you will see here in a moment, if I get filled on this trade right here, right? I got my entry setting right on the level that I want to take to short. So as it pushes up, it'll fill me. Then if it rolls back over, if it is going to be a down day, I'll take profits as it moves lower. But it's got to come up here and fill me. I'm not chasing price. When you chase price, you end up getting hurt. Think of how many people sold right there. Now they're sitting in a drawdown because they just can't wait for price to come to them. You will, I mean, the longer you trade, the better at it you get, the more confident you get. You can leave limit orders up like that with no big deals. You can wait on price to come back to your level to get into an entry. You don't have to chase it. But I mean, sure, it's at support. It's at the bottom edge of the range. You got earnings coming up in a few days. Keep that in mind if you plan on holding it for multiple days. Uber's traded pretty much like a tech stock. I mean, it's an app, but it used to trade like a tech stock. I mean, it still is. It's on the weekly, you're up on the year. I mean, you're bullish on the year. So there's your yearly open right there. You're up on the year and you're making what looks to be a bull flag. But some people will call this a double top. So they'll be looking to short it. I wouldn't unless, no, it's still buyable. As long as you close the weekly back above the 21, then I will look at this as a bear trap and I will wait for next week to come back down and test support and then look to get long then. If this week closes under, then you're probably going to break below support. On the daily, you're already under the 21. So technically, you got resistance coming in at 44.76. an area where I would expect some shorts to be setting. And no, I want to change the color of the line, broski. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's go see if it's a heavily shorted stock. For that, we will use FinViz. I have a scanner in Thinkorswim for this too. I just don't remember what it's called. It's all in code. So I don't want to just go through all my code scanners to figure out which one it is. But it's easier just to come over here and type in Uber and get the float. It's not a heavily shorted stock. Heavily shorted stocks, I look for them because you can typically look for them to have breakouts. When something's not heavily shorted, then it's just trading. It's just standard regular trading volumes. But if something's really heavily shorted, you got to be careful taking a short on it because you can get a short squeeze. GameStop, for instance. Keep in mind to keep watch about that, the short float. What was I looking for? NVIDIA. Long. Sorry. I'm actually short NVIDIA. So no. I mean, you can take the other side of my trade. Whoever took the other side of my Netflix trade, they won. Right? But usually I'm the one that wins. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything, but I mean, I could get stopped out. This thing could absolutely start ripping faces off. The rest of the stock market is bullish. It wouldn't surprise me at all to get stopped out on this as well. But, I mean, that's good if the market goes up because I have a short put as a hedge. And that position is up. That's the only reason I'm not down massively. Like I'm down $10 on the day, $13 on the day. And that loss on Netflix was at least $50. So I'm not really sure why I'm not down $50, to be honest with you, on the day. I haven't taken any trades today, except for the closing of Netflix, which it did it by itself because I had it set up as a bracket order. But this will take profits. This will stop me out, right? I'll take profits if I reach 50%. 50%, which would have been, I think the maximum amount of money I could make was 265. 265. So at half of the profits on 265, that would be 130, 130, 250. That's where it would close me out at 130, 250. Or if it goes down, it'll close me out at $50. Because I opened the account with $5,000. So we're up 23% on the year. Year to date. We're beating the S&P 500. But if I could quit playing with futures, this account would be much larger. Futures are fun to play, though. It's fun. It's just like trading spot Bitcoin, or futures Bitcoin, I should say. You just get long and watch the candles go, or get short and watch the candles go. But yeah, I'm not I'm not loving the long NVIDIA, especially since we've already looked at the trade tab, and there's more selling of calls going on than buying of calls. Now, to be fair, your puts being purchased are less than the calls being purchased. There's still more sellers of calls than buyers. And that's typically not bullish. But who knows, right? Who knows? The only person that knows what price is going to do is ICT, since he wrote the algorithm. That's a joke. Can you look at the dollar? Yes, I can go look at the dollar. DXY. It's up 0.48%. I mean, it's testing yesterday's open. Would that be an area to get short? I mean, it looks like it's flagging out. You're above the 21 exponential moving average. But yeah, I mean, technically, this is a place where you could look for short entries on the dollar because you're testing weekly support. You've already ran all the way down to here. Today's just Tuesday, so this is Monday's move. And then this wick is today's move, right? So you declined on the dollar. Today you have moved up. So this is kind of the spot that I would be looking for entries. Now that is weird right there. Aussie must be strong as hell because dollar's up almost 0.5% and Aussie dollar is up too. That is strange, bro. Very seldom do you ever see that. Aussie and the dollar both up. See, the pound is down 0.5%. Euro's down 0.5%. Aussie's up, so Aussie must be super strong. They must have had some news. Yeah, it's up 0.17%. I'm still holding this short. It is a descending wedge formation, so it is. People do look for these type of patterns to break out to the bullish side. But if you want to get long at support 629.70 down here at daily support. I mean, that was the place to get long, obviously. Could have got long on this day or this day. You'd be up. I would probably wait for the fresh yearly low first, because this low is still intact. You didn't take it out with this candle or this candle, and this is the yearly low right there. I would assume you would make a fresh yearly low, but maybe this is the springboard in a Wyckoff accumulation formation, if it is in a Wyckoff accumulation formation. So we'll see what happens with this. If the dollar continues its strength, then obviously I would expect it to roll back over, but I'm short up here, so I won't close it out unless it gets back above 65.50. Right in there. I'll close it out. But the only thing that I have left anyway is unrealized P&L. I've already taken profits on the trade. 3M. MMM. Yeah. The tape and glue company. They had earnings either this morning or yesterday. It says today it had earnings, so it was this morning. Yeah, it's a sunrise morning announcement. They had both top and bottom line beats, so they gapped up this morning. But I mean, it's getting slaughtered overall. This thing is getting pummeled. Oh, it's nasty. You got some divergence going on the daily, but I mean, this is clear divergence, right? That close versus that close is definitely divergent. Excuse me. Let me see if we got divergence on the weekly. We do not. We just got it on the daily. 3-day, does the 3-day got divergence? No. I guess you could call that divergence, actually. It's a slight divergence, but it is a higher high. I mean, a higher low right there. And that's a lower low, lower close than this one. You do got slight bullish div on the daily and 3-day time frames, but I would only be looking for something like this. And then I would like this is something that after it gets up to like 100, 105, something like I would probably look to sell calls on it because it's clearly in a downtrend. It's clearly getting its butt kicked. It's just the way the markets have been lately, right? Everything that's overbought just keeps getting bid up, and everything that's oversold just keeps getting sold off. I don't understand that concept, but I mean, 3M is a good company. They make money. I don't know if I would get long. If I was, like I said, it would just be to like up $94 or something. 93.03 is as high as I would look for it to go. And then $100 would be the where I would assume it would roll back over. Usually whatever the trend is doing, a lot of people think it can't go no lower, right? That's why retail likes to try to pick bottoms because they think it can't go any lower. But like all you got to do is just look at the chart, right? Pretend we're looking at it here. You're like, hell yeah, I'm getting long. Look, it's getting accumulated. It cannot go lower than this line right here. It can't go lower. And then boom, it does. All right, so there's the bottom. Now, this is the bottom. This is the bottom. So we'll get long here. Yes, getting rich. Take profits. Because boom. So just take my word for it. Wait for a pullback up to like in the 100s and then look for it to show some kind of a bearish topping formation. Like, I don't know, two bearish candles or a bearish engulf, something like that. And then just sell some calls. Sell some calls and make that premium. Or buy a put. Just outright buy a put. How much does it cost to sell calls on Triple M? And they just had earnings, so vol crush has already happened. So I don't want to sell it where it is now, but it does got quite a bit of premium in it, even out here beyond the expected move. So I could technically sell. Yeah, I could. It only takes $1,000 of buying power to sell this. So I could absolutely sell it. And I will keep this one on watch probably. Because if it does pull back up to that $100 level, 101, and show me any kind of bearish, like any kind of fatigue whatsoever, and I would straight start selling calls and buying a put. Like I'd be as short as I could be. Just because this thing is still going, it can go much lower, right? It can still drop 100% from where it's at. It's a good company. Eventually you think that they would run into this, but the S&P 500 isn't getting absolutely wrecked. Yes, it's down, but it's not killed. It's not like, there's a war, another war. S&P is going to gap down, 300 points. It didn't happen. I mean, the S&P, it's just trading like the CPI numbers is what's keeping it down. I mean, it seriously is. From June CPI, this market has been trading down based on the fact that CPI is higher. But you're up on the day. So this is a 50-point retracement from the yearly opening range to this high. Not the all-time high. This high. That's why that yellow line is there. It's just a 50% retracement from here to here. But on the all-time high, obviously, that would be the 50% retracement would be somewhere in this range. So kind of useless for my purposes. But from yearly open to this high right there, the reason also is because this is the yearly high. Bitcoin is taking out the low of the last previous hour's candle. We'll go take a look at it. So we are starting to see a little bit of that selling come back into play here. You just made fresh low. It's not fresh daily low because this is your open. You got to get all the way down to here to make a fresh daily low. But this is your first downside support zone. So that would be your profit target if you were short. Take profits, move your stop, and then leave the rest on. If it's a hedge, then don't take profits. If you're just hedging your Bitcoins, don't take profits. That's the whole point of a hedge. You just leave it open. All right. PMI came in higher. Did it now? It did. Why does it still say 4 minutes? It wasn't even 4 minutes ago. Like, what's going on? But yeah, it did. It came in 50.9. 49.8 was expected. 50.1 is what we got. So that's good news. That should be good news for the dollar. 1 o'clock is the 2-year note auction. Just keep that in mind, as you could see some volatility come into the S&Ps at that time. So it looks like oil did freaking bounce. It looks like we damn sure should have got long. I don't really want to buy it up there. It's chasing. Let's see what it looks like on the chart down here. What is bonds doing? ZN's getting killed again. They had a really fantastic day yesterday. So all in all, it's still up. But let's see what MCL looks like, as that is the micro futures contract. All right, so yeah, I definitely don't want to chase it right now because it's coming into the 21 exponential intraday. And I know that sounds like who cares, but trust me, for some reason, stocks and stuff, a lot of people will take trades around that and your VWAP, right? Right here, this purple dotted line, that's the VWAP. And it's literally just been struggling, right? Just piano keys at the VWAP. People are obviously buying the VWAP. And then over here, I got monthly VWAP pulled up on a daily time frame. And we are currently under it. We were above it, then we broke down. That's what happened up here. And then we got downside continuation after that. And then the pullback right in the old support as well. That's where she failed. Down it went. But today, everything's pretty much correlated. See what I mean? See what I mean? If we had bought it up there, right at that. This called if you trade or have this platform and you're like, what is that indicator he is looking at? It is not a Bollinger Band. It's called a ESD bands. And you can find it in your studies. Just go to edit, study, and right here, just type ESD and it'll pop up. ESD bands. It's kind of like a Bollinger Band, but not. And this dotted inside line is the 21 EMA. It's not, or the 20 EMA. It's not the simple moving average. So we'll see if crude comes back down to 84.80-ish, which it wouldn't. Yeah, it would because it does have 1 cent ticks. So 87 or 84.80. If that area holds, we'll look for longs. We shouldn't be, though. What we should be doing is selling it. But I have a problem with selling at support. S&P 500 ripping right now. Fresh daily highs. That I bet it's because it's getting really close to its expected move. If that is the case, that is why it is struggling. Too many people are trying to sell something that is outright bullish. Yeah, you are. You are testing the expected move high right now. So, like, if oil was going down and a few other stocks were going down, and on this right here on the market watch, this was more skewed to declining. Like, say we had 70 declining stocks versus 30 advancing stocks, then I would be looking to short this level. All right? Then I would be looking to short it. But the market's bullish. So since the overall market's bullish, that's going to help push the S&P 500 higher. Could it roll over? Yes, of course. This is a high probable area to look for trade entries. Yeah, if I was going to short the S&P 500, it would be here. The problem is it's got a bullish bias today. Look at that. I mean, Apple is a little bit down. Like, I can't even tell if it's down or up. What is it? It's nothing. But that's why it's been the struggle here. People are buying the VWAP and people are selling right here because they assume that it's going to roll over because they're not paying attention to the overall market. They're going to get stopped out. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is different. It doesn't trade with risk. It hasn't been trading with risk. And it really hasn't been trading inversely to the dollar either. It's doing its own thing based on its own supply and demand dynamics. So there is nothing that you can look at and be like, well, Bitcoin should be bearish today because the dollar is up. No. That has nothing to do with Bitcoin anymore. It's literally been doing its own thing for the last several months. It is not correlated to anything except for that USDT, USDC thing. It's inversely correlated to this. All right. If you overlay the chart of Bitcoin on here, it's definitely inversely correlated to that. A breakdown, moonshot. But they both move pretty much in tandem with one another, so it's difficult to make pairs trades. With it. But if you want this chart, it's just USDC dot D plus USDT dot D and then hit enter. And you'll get this chart. All right. There's a lot more stuff going over there. I just haven't got around to doing it. S&P 500 having a nice day. Let me go look at my NVIDIA position. Magnificent 7. Oh, no. Come on, NVIDIA. You got to fail. You got to fail here. Yeah, baby. That's not very... that doesn't warm my heart, if you will, to see that it's like barely down. I was hoping that yesterday was just a fake move or a run up to test the midpoint of last week, and then it was going to dump today, and I am completely wrong. It does not look like it is dumping. As a matter of fact, it's a very small range day. But I'll give it some time. Let's go watch crude. Yeah, it's down $2. Even though the candle's red on the day. This trade should be up on the day. But as long as the S&P 500 goes up, this like hedge, if you will pay me. And all I did was went out and sold the 3600 January 19 87-day away put. I just sold it naked. Naked, baby. That's how we roll. No pants on. Naked. Where's it at? Oh, it's a put, dumbass. There it is. Right there. I sold that BB. Naked. And it requires like $800 in buying power. That's why I say if you're gonna open up an account and you want to sell options because you want to make premium, sell option premium, do it like the big boys do. Make consistent returns on your portfolio. Then do it with tastytrade. It's more expensive and everything, but the reason it's more expensive, the fees as far as that goes, is because they allow you to sell options with just as long as you got $2,000 in your account. You won't be able to sell a lot, but you can grow it with a minimum of 2K. I opened the account with 5K. So, yeah. And like I said, my trade history will always be here for anybody ever that's like, you're not a profitable trader. We want to see your actual trade history. This is an actual broker, a real live money account with real funds in it. I'll show you the ACH deposit so that way you know for a fact. Damn, that fool be trading, huh? Right down there. That's when we open the account. Right there. And then, obviously, that's how you would tell if someone was unprofitable. If you see another one of these somewhere in here, their account goes down, they just deposit more money to make themselves look profitable. That's not how we do it. So you can see my entire trade history right here. You look for those ACH deposits, you will not find any. So there's the entire trade history on the account. No ACH deposits. Just profitable trades. And every now and then one of these things. I don't know what that is. I know what this is. This is because I bought a call and it expired worthless. But it was a 0 DTE trade. 0 days to expiration. Regulatory fee adjustments. Yeah, so there's all the proof you need. Interest on credit balance, regulatory fee adjustment, and then here we are today. There it is. Trade history shown to the world. All right, so let's pull up oil again since there is no trade on S&Ps. There's no trade on the S&Ps because the overall market's bullish. Right there. That's the 100 biggest stocks in the S&P 500. And they're all up. You almost have 100% correlation to the upside. Don't short that. Don't short that. That's not good to short. You want the correlation to be to the negative side. Then you can sell the top end of the range. So it did pull down to where we were looking, 84.80, but I wasn't paying attention. So let's chase the price. You want to? Let's chase it. I don't really want to. Let's chase it to 84.87. I don't want to chase it, but you're making me do it. They're making me do it. Oh my God. Just kidding. Having a good time, just sitting here trading about. Hey, before we go, is there anything that you guys want me to see? No pants dance. Yeah, we that's how we do it up in her. No pants, baby. I ain't got a shirt on, got nothing on. I'm sitting in my skivvies in front of the monitors, making money while I sleep. I'm hungover too. I seen that move last night. I was watching Monday Night Football and I had to get online. I was like, you shouldn't get online because you got a buzz, dude. What kind of example would that set? But I had to, man. Bitcoin was exploding to the price target that we had all year long. I mean, come on. When your price target gets hit, you gotta go online and start bragging, don't you? I told you, MFers, that it was going up there. I told you it was. All right, we just got filled. Let's see how much it moves. Oh my God, it's like $1.50 a tick. That's not good. Let's set a stop loss, but we'll give it a little bit of room. All right, we give it a little bit of room. 84.71, 84.70. We want to sell to close, stop market 84.70. View, send that baby out there. That's to stop anything terrible from happening, like a candle that goes all the way to the bottom of the screen and you can't see it anymore in like a second. Oop. That was bull crap. Made me lose $20. Damn it. That's all right. Yeah, it's bearish too. I mean, literally trying to pick a bottom on this thing. See it? That's the low day, man. But if we look at the US oil chart, it's at an area where we've already looked at it, but this is for anybody that's just popped into the stream to wonder what in the hell this crazy guy's even talking about. This is last week's low, and we took it out. So I'm like, if it's gonna go up from here, then I want to get long. It's just that simple. Ah, son of a gun. I should have gave it more room, huh? Let's see what it does. Because I still got some risk. I can still afford to take another loss. Excuse me. Yeah. Might have missed the oil trade. Oh, we can buy options. Another reason why I like this Tasty Works is because they have futures on options. I mean, options on futures. And for any of you that are aware of the pattern day trading rule, you are not allowed to trade more than 3 times per week every 5 rolling day period. Otherwise, your account will get suspended due to pattern day trading rules. You can trade futures 1,000 times if you want, but not stocks and not stock options. But futures, sure, buy many of them as you want, as many times as you want. Let's get this on the mid. Let's see if we get it filled. There's not a whole, there it is. Bam. Filled instantly. Now oil better go up or I'm going to get mad at you all. It better go up or I'm going to get very mad at you guys for talking me into this. Like I said, on CL, it's already freaking went way beyond that low. So it's probably a long shot. But we'll see. I think the options move a little bit slower. Not really, I guess, huh? They don't. They don't really move slower. Oops. I didn't know that. All right. PMIs came in higher. Read that. Is it better to take profit on Bitcoin or to hedge? Depends. It just depends. How much is it? Like compared to your net worth? Is it a lot? Like it are you biting your nails every time it moves $1,000? If that's the case, take profits. Cut the position down. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But also hedge for sure. Always hedge. Always try to do some kind of hedge. Like I could hedge this position off right now by going to USO and go out 52 days and buy a put. That's how I would hedge this position. Right? Well, when you do that, like you want to do that on your long-term holds. This is just a day trade, so I'm not going to hedge a day trade. But if it's a long-term hold, yes, you definitely want to hedge. My Bitcoins are hedged. So that way, if Bitcoin does roll over here, I'm not saying it's going to. I don't want everybody to hate me and think, oh, this guy, he sucks. No, I'm a Bitcoin bull, but I am realistic. Realistic about the situation at hand. And that situation is we just tested a major monthly support that has not been retested in a long time. This trade is going to kill me. It's this one up here. So I got to close this down. Also, once you've gotten in a position, you can make a bracket order right here. So we'll just go in there and we'll say, we'll close it. Yeah, take profit 50%. Sure, why not? And we want to stop loss. Definitely don't want to do 80. We don't want to do a 25% loss. Let's go. How much are we down already on a day? $22. So let's go. Let's go $24. Review. What? Stop market and stop limit future option orders are not allowed. Why? That's retarded. But then it says send. It says it's not allowed, so I probably better not do it, huh? If I hit send, it automatically closes the account down, and then I gotta go do it the whole shebang again. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just watch it. I ain't got nothing else better to do. What's going on here? Riot plus 16%, Mara plus 21%, MicroStrategies up 13%. Yeah, Bitcoin's up big, bro. Those things will go up. We can go look at them. Let's go look at them. I'm glad you brought that up. You probably brought it up an hour ago. I just don't look at my few ledges enough. Let's go look at Riot. Wow, big move to the upside there. Mara already getting sold into. That's not it. Mara. I got a new keyboard and I hate it because it's a gamer style keyboard. I am not a gamer. I hate these big thick keys. I hate that I gotta push and keep pushing and push and push and push, and it seems like I'm pushing the key all the way down to hell before it freaking does something. I like the small little tiny keys where you just barely gotta touch them and you type and you can just. I can't do that with these big clunky keys. I don't know why this would even be good for gamers, but I guess it is because every gamer keyboard looks like this. Well, anyways, Mara, it's up and not as down as far as on the day as Riot is, but it is testing the midpoint range of the daily. So yeah, I mean, we could sell some calls on this or Riot. Probably Riot would be better. Selling calls has unlimited downside risk. Please keep that in mind. Unlimited downside risk. Selling puts almost has unlimited downside risk, but if the asset goes to zero, you're gonna lose like 50 grand or something like that. But what is that? That level? It's an old level. Oh, it's weekly res. Imagine that. Weekly resistance. It's not as up though as I would figure it to be with Bitcoin up at 35K. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense to you? Like, this is where it was trading when Bitcoin was trading under 30 grand. So now that Bitcoin's made fresh yearly highs, you would think this would have made fresh yearly highs as well, right? Wrong. Why? Can somebody please tell me why that is not the case? MSTR, MicroStrategy. See, now that is more like it. It still isn't made a fresh yearly high, but it's closer to making a fresh yearly high than, say, Riot or Mara is. Yeah, that hourly candle that it just made a new low and it's going back up. So here's what the hourly on Bitcoin looks like real quick. So we did make a fresh low just per hour, and now it seems to be getting bid back up. Ken, looks like we're all rich again. Yep, can quit McDonald's job now. Yep. Bitcoin doing its own thing. This amazing news. Yep, it is. Did you look at Euro USD? No, I didn't. One of my members inside of the Discord was wanting to get long Euro USD, but it just could not seem to get positioned correctly, which would have been yesterday at the London session open, or the 3 o'clock a.m. candle came down and tagged it to perfection. But yeah, I mean, if the dollar's going up, then euro should be coming back down. It almost tested a yearly open range, and that was his thesis. So he was almost correct. He can call price movements pretty damn good, just having difficulties with the entries and stuff, making it to profitability. But I'm going to help him with that. That's what I'm here for, to help you guys to profitability. One-stop shop. I'll teach you analysis, teach you how to trade options, futures, Bitcoin, whatever, and how to be profitable doing it. Let's go look at that oil position real quick, because I got to keep an eye on that. All right, so we're going to have to close him down. All right. On the mid, though. On the mid. Always on the mid. As I don't want to lose a whole lot of money. Now, if you got to get out quick, you get out on the bid, on the ask. I mean, on the bid, sorry. You just hit the bid. Hit the bid if you want to get out quick. But I got NVIDIA position on as well. So it could be hurting me as well. And it is. So NVIDIA is more than likely went back and made fresh daily highs or something. tagging that level again. Yeah, it was just trading under it. Man, I need to see some hourly closes under that level. Please, NVIDIA. Please. No, I'm just kidding. If I lose on the trade, I lose on the trade. It's all right. Because I know I'm going to get one, and it's going to be a good one. Boom. Out of the oil trade. Now watch it go completely to the freaking moon. Because wasn't oil bullish not too long ago? Wasn't we supposed to buy oil? Yeah. Looks like it's going to break down below support, guys. So I would probably leave oil alone until it finds support. Once it finds support, we'll wait for a retest of that support. Then we'll try to get long again. Until that happens, I'm not messing with it. Screw it. Bitcoin, read that. Did you look at it? Yep, read that. Gotta have a buzz stream every now and then. Yeah, I hear you. I used to do it all the time back in the day. But is your short limit still on Bitcoin? Yes, it is. But I'll probably close it if we don't close this hourly lower than the last hour. So, like, if this hourly candle closes higher than this close, then I will just close the position because this isn't bearish. Bearish is, ugh, you know what I mean? If you can't fail to make a lower close, then I'm getting out. I'm not going to even attempt it because I have two positions already open on Bitcoin. I have a hedge on, and then I have on the Bitget account. I have a hedge on, and I have on the US or on the Bitcoin on the Coin M futures is what I'm talking about. That's where I'm trading Bitcoin to make Bitcoin. I have a hedge with Bitcoin on that, and then I have a USDC short on. Both of those are in profits. I should have took a profits on the USDC short, seeing how the hedge is on, but I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, definitely if we get a higher close than this close, then I definitely want to close the position down. Or I don't want to take a short. I mean, typically you don't want to take shorts when something is literally mooning because it just causes hysteria, right? Like this thing could go all the way to 45, 50 grand even, depending on how many people buy. That's all it is. Like how many people are going to come in and buy this news up. You got the halving next year during the first quarter, I think, or is it at the beginning of the second quarter? I can't remember exactly the date. I thought it was in March, but then I heard May, so I'm not sure. But when that happens, then that's typically been a bullish event for Bitcoin. But this also news is would be bullish if it were to happen. We just haven't. It hasn't happened yet, right? Like you can't trade Bitcoin's ETF yet. When that day comes, then it would probably roll over. Thanks, Eve. I'll play football with my son now. Have a go, or footy. I don't know if that's the same thing as football or soccer in the U.S., but have a good time, Michelle. Yeah, we're gonna lock it down too. We took two trades. We lost them both. There's no shame in it. No shame in it, right? It happens. The current positions that I am holding right now is a short put on the ES 500 because I'm literally just using it as a hedge against my bearish NVIDIA trade. I am going to be looking to put more positions on today. So if I do find something that I like, I will post it on Twitter. As I posted that XLU trade on Twitter, it got a whole 3 likes and it made a whole 50%. So to those 3 people, I hope they took profits and I hope they made money. Because we sold the call up here. We sold the $61 call, rolled over, boom, take your profits. We took profits yesterday. Nice. 50% gain there. Not on the total account. It was on the trade. That's what be very careful when you're listening to option traders speak. When they say they made 30%, 50%, 75%, 90%, 100%, they're not talking about on their total accounts equity. They're talking about on that trade. All right? So me making 50% on that trade is equal to me making a little bit better than 1% total account equity. Be very, very, people will construe words like that and mislead you into thinking like they're doubling their account every time they take an options trade. No, they are not. No, they are not. You can make 100% on an options position and still barely move your account. You know what I'm saying? Just be aware of that is all. When I say 50% on an options trade, I am literally talking about the trade. Now, if I say I made 60% on a Bitcoin trade, that is total account equity. That's different because I usually trade Bitcoin with a levered up. Not when I got a large sum of money. I usually just, because a $30,000 position is it's a decent position. That means each dollar Bitcoin moves will be in my favor, right? If I can get filled with the full position size. So I don't have to use leverage. But when I'm using a smaller account, I use leverage, right? To try to get more bang for my buck, if you will. But I mean, that short on Bitcoin that I have on right now is in profits. It's in profits, and it is a 34% return on total account equity. That's a freaking big trade. So I'm going to go ahead and take profits on that. In batches, stop loss, take profit. Hang on, let me do that. Let's say 34,362. Positions, take profits. Oh, I mean, yep. Nope. Stop loss. In batches, please. Thank you. $34,000 Bitcoin. That's awesome to say, ain't it? What'd I say? 460? It'd be a 28% return on total equity. Booyah! Oh, inner quantity. Yeah, let's go. Let's go 60%. 65%. All right, that's situated. All right. Any other questions before we wrap it up? Let me go ahead and close this just in case. I don't want to forget about it and then find out that I lost half my money later because Bitcoin squeezed hard to the upside. And it can do it. The risk markets are bullish today. Like, you're bullish across the board pretty much, except on oil, which I'm glad I got out of that position. Fresh low of day. Dollar still pushing. I don't like to look at this dollar chart because it doesn't tell the real story. I like to look at it over here because this tells you the real story. Like, you're about to take out yesterday's high. About to take out yesterday's high. But that's old weekly support. And I don't know what that was. Oh, demand. Daily demand. But it closed below. Now, anytime you close below demand, you don't try to get long at demand. Because you closed below it. That means you're probably going lower. And then it did. Boom. So dollar pushing up at an old demand level. Those will act as resistance, as you can see right now. It literally tagged it to perfection and is backing off just a hair. I mean, come on. It's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Stick with me. I'll teach you some stuff, man. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys trade safe, trade smart, and as always, happy trading, everybody. Go Bitcoin.